Hey everybody, thank you for joining in. This is TC from StorageDNA. I'm going to be recording this presentation and this will give us a chance to share with everybody who has attended. With that, I'll get started. I'd like to thank all of you guys to being on this call. And since this is an LTO7 customer appreciation bundle, I'd like to personally thank all of you guys for being such great customers of StorageDNA. What we really wanted to do with this upgrade bundle is really show our customers, the appreciation we have for you guys. Hence, we're calling it the LTO7 Customer Appreciation Bundle. And there are three basic components to this appreciation bundle. The first is helping our customers grow from LTO5 or LTO6 to LTO7. And there are a number of reasons, it's kind of wise to take advantage of this opportunity today. But beyond just adopting LTO7, we also wanted to highlight, that the upgrade bundle is not just about swapping drives to LTO7, but it's also giving our customers the opportunity to go into larger libraries, more slots, and more drives. You may be a current customer who has a single drive, and we want you to take advantage of, for example, an automation system in an 8-slot library. Or you could be a customer who has a 24-slot system with 2 drives, but we want to give you an opportunity to upgrade to maybe a 160-slot system, which gives you a lot more drives, a lot more performance, a lot more capacity. And what we also wanted to walk you through is why DNAevolution, especially with the features that we've built, we'll be talking through them, and how these features allow you to take advantage of the extra slots and the extra drives. What we'll do is, we have a Q&A board. So if you guys have questions through the presentation, feel free to post it on that. And then Jeff, who's our VP of Sales, and I will answer those questions at the end of the call. So what we wanted to quickly touch upon is just LTO7 as such. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard of LTO7. Great performance, great capacity. A single drive can push about 300 megabytes per second, which roughly translates to about 2.4 gigabits per second. That's kind of approaching SAN speeds, as we call it. And so, even on a single drive basis, we're seeing incredible performance. A single LTO cartridge, raw, not compressed, is about 6.2 terabytes raw capacity. So once again, great performance, but also great density. And the street price for one of these cartridges is roughly about $130 US. So, great, very, very cost effective as well. But the real, magic of LTO7 is when you start packing these into automation libraries, and see the kind of density and performance you can get. So what I have up here is, the different upgrade libraries that we are bundling in our upgrade promotion. And if you kind of start with the first one, which is the 8-slot, and I'm going to use just a more visible color. Now, if you see the 8-slot up here, we have a 48 terabyte capacity in a 1U chassis and a single drive, which gives you roughly 300 megabytes per second. If we move up, you'll see the 48 slot allows you to hold 288 terabytes. With the bundled 2 drive, you get about 600 megabytes per second. Now, this system can be upgraded to 4 drives, so it can roughly give you up to 1,200 megabytes per second in this 4U chassis. We move up from there. The 80 slot allows you to hold 480 terabytes. With the included 2 drives, you get 600 megabytes. But this system can hold up to 6 drives, so you get the opportunity to go up to 1,800 megabytes per second. We can add the base module and an extension chassis to this 80 slot, which now allows you to go up to a petabyte of storage. And then finally, we have the 240 slot, which allows you to go up to 1.5 petabytes of storage. This includes 4 LTO7 drives to give you 1,200 megabytes per second. Now, the reason that I'm kind of putting this forward is, and I'll also kind of put the prices of the upgrade bundles out there. And let's take, the 80 slot system, for example, where, you're able to now pack about half a petabyte of storage, get 600 megabytes per second of throughput, all for under $30,000. And the point that I wanted to make here is that LTO7 bandwidth capacities, especially in libraries, is becoming far greater than what hard drive-based storage systems can provide you. And that's where we see the great opportunity from StorageDNA's perspective, is the ability to offer our customers an immense amount of capacity and performance in LTO7 systems, which when compared to hard drive-based storage systems and expanding your SAN or NAS, you're going to see a greater amount of value in doing so to your LTO libraries rather than your hard drive-based systems, which is great. But the promotion, the upgrade promotion, does not focus on just going to our customers and telling them, hey, let me swap out your LTO6 drives or LTO5 drives with LTO7. We're encouraging our customers to upgrade their libraries. If you're a customer who has a single drive, we're encouraging you to consider the 8 slot. If you're an 8 slot or 24 slot customer, we're encouraging you to look at the 48 or the 80 or even beyond the 160 and the 240. So the question is, why should you be looking at more slots and more drives and not just upgrading your existing infrastructure? And the real reason is DNAevolution. What we've done is we've spent a considerable amount of time through this year, 2016, and you'll see a lot more announcements coming from us in 2017, where we want to handle more of your data management challenges with this great new capacity and performance that LTO7 provides us. So what I wanted to cover today was really where have our features been added to help you take advantage of the extra drives and the extra slots that we are offering you. And really those data management challenges come in 3 areas. The first is in managing camera RAWs. We're all facing incredible amount of growth in content that we're getting in the form of raw camera content. So how do we manage it? How do we protect it? Well, what we're going to cover is how DNAevolution lets you do that with the extra drives and slots. The next big challenge our customers face is constantly growing SAN and NAS storage. Our post-production SANs are growing constantly. You have nearline storage in the form of NAS systems, which also continue to grow. And the key challenges there is, how do you manage this ever-growing pool of storage? How do you back it up? How do you protect it? So we'll be talking about how the new features in DNAevolution lets you do that. And the big, the big question on everybody's mind is, hey, we are on LTO7, LTO8 is around the corner, and when LTO8 releases, I'm not going to be able to read my LTO5 tapes with my LTO8 drives. So the next big question really becomes is, hey, how am I going to be migrating my content off of my LTO5 and 6 to LTO7? So these are 3 key reasons that we'll go over as to what the extra slots and drives can provide you as part of the upgrade bundle. All right, so let's kind of cover the first one is, how does DNAevolution and LTO7 really help you overcome the camera raw challenges that you face today? One of the first things that I want to highlight is StorageDNA in 2016, one of the big priorities has been developing the automation pipeline. So what exactly is the automation pipeline? It's a pretty simple concept. Our customers have come to us and said, when we were handling HD content, I would get X amount of data, but now we're having to deal with 4K, HDR, VR, and also we're dealing with shoots where people are coming to us and saying, hey, we've got 4 different types of cameras, they've all been recording, and there's this massive amount of data that we're having to deal. Customers are coming and telling us we are having to deal with maybe up to 4x to 6x to 8x more data in terms of camera RAWs. And one big challenge there is, how do I protect all of this? How do I make sure it's verified? How do I make sure it's checksummed? And who really manages that entire process, that entire volume of data, so that it's automated and easy, right? And that's really what the automation pipeline is about. Because traditionally, if you look at archive solutions, the entire process of archiving, checksumming, verifying, re-verifying your data if there's a checksum failure is all very manual and handheld. Now, the automation pipeline is designed to make that an automated process. At a very high level, if you give DNAevolution LTO tapes and a bunch of data to archive, we take over the process for you. So the content is written to the LTO tape. We can span it across multiple LTO tapes as needed. And as the tapes are being marked as full, we are automatically taking it into another drive, which is dedicated for verification. So the process becomes completely automated. Now, as we are verifying your data, there are many cases where you will hit a verification failure on one or more files. Well, we take over that process for you as well. So we are automatically recopying any failed files that have failed verification onto the tapes that they belong on. So it's not that we are copying those files to other tapes, we are repacking them onto the same tapes to keep the content with the same tape that you expected it to be on. Now, all of this process is being handled automatically, which traditionally would be a manual process, and we are posting alerts in a user-friendly dashboard. So an operator can sit there, view the process, and just look at alerts that are coming in as tapes are being marked as full, as they're going into verification, as they are being checksummed. And the great part is that I can dedicate X number of drives in my library to this process, right? So I can have 3 drives doing archiving and 2 dedicated to verification, while I kind of just sit back and I view the process, right? So once again, why are we offering the larger libraries and systems that you can pack more drives in? Well, we want you to take advantage of the automation pipeline that we offer. The next thing that we've really beefed up is our camera conform workflow. What we've essentially allowed our customers to do, especially when they're getting 4K HDR content, is to use LTO as your extended nearline. This is where we believe most of our customers are copying their camera masters and their high res to anyway. So why not let them conform off of that, especially because LTO7 gives you great bandwidth with 300 megabytes per second on a single drive. Well, I should be able to conform this content relatively fast as well. So what we've done is we've beefed up our conform logic. We've got a new ALE conform engine. Our conform engine is now extracting start time code from every different camera media type, which gives us a very easy way to queue in and find the exact clip that you're looking for. So once again, conforming is something we believe a lot of our customers are going to take advantage of. You can have a few drives dedicated to conforming, because remember, with conforming, it's a time critical activity. You know you're going to have an online session tomorrow. You want this conformed overnight. You want to dedicate a few drives to that process. So camera conforming is another reason why you want to be looking at larger libraries with more drives. The next area that we've spent a considerable amount of time on is how do you manage your SAN and your NAS growth? And the first thing that we've done is giving you a number of ways to intelligently offload your editorial storage in whether it's an Avid or an Adobe environment. We allow you to intelligently offload Avid media. It can be in the form of a bin, sequence, or project, which is great because you can basically, if you have a project that's kind of stalled and you don't want to keep online, you can offload it off, in a bin format or a project format. But the great part is you can also get it back quickly when you want to. Same thing with Adobe. We allow you to do a sequence or a project-based offload. And once again, while you have certain drives that are handling your camera RAWs, you can have other drives that are dedicated to offloading your editorial and your post-production storage. One of the key areas that we're seeing a lot of interest in is also setting up nightly incremental backups of your post-production SAN. And there's a very good reason to be doing that now. If you look at the new post-production SANs being introduced in the market, they are employing anywhere from 6, 8, 10, and soon to be 12 terabyte hard drives. That's how you're getting immense capacity, on an 8-drive SAN that you're investing in. But the flip side and the big drawback of this is that if you do encounter a single drive RAID failure, your SAN is taking 4, 5, maybe up to a week to recover and rebuild the RAID. And the simple reason is because every drive in your SAN chassis is very, very large. And to rebuild that drive, there's a considerable amount of time being spent. Now, obviously, the big risk is that if you do have a secondary drive failure when your primary 10 terabyte drive is being rebuilt, which happens more often, you now are in an environment you have catastrophic data loss. which is, something that most people are terrified of. So we're being approached by numerous customers who are saying, hey, can you incrementally back up my SAN as well? And yes, StorageDNA can do that. We've got an auto-scanning engine which can incrementally back up your SAN and NAS. StorageDNA is working on an extra fast scanner, which we call the Hyper Scanner, which can scan millions and millions of files in a few minutes. And what that's going to be able to do is allow you to set up nightly backup. So in case you have a RAID failure, well, no matter, you can actually recover that workspace onto a smaller cache storage and work off of that while your RAID is being rebuilt. What a lot of our customers and we are finding in early tests is that restoring a workspace can be faster than waiting for the RAID to be rebuilt, right? So that's another interesting application where you can have a few drives dedicated to just backing up your SAN for that extra protection every night. And finally, migration, right? So we are one of the only systems or vendors which is able to offer you the ability to go from 5 and 6 to 7. DNAevolution can verify and repack your LTO5 and 6 to LTO7 tapes. Once again, it's an automated process. You just have to assign 2 or 4 drives to it, and DNAevolution sits there migrating your old tapes to LTO7 tapes. Just one of the words of caution is LTO8, when it does release, will not be able to read your LTO5 tapes. So it's a good idea to get started with this process. So, these are a few of the reasons and the features why we believe that taking advantage of the upgrade bundle is a great idea, not just for upgrading your drives, but to also get a system which can hold more slots and more drives for you. So let's go over really quick in what the upgrade bundles include. Every upgrade bundle includes a new DL20 server. Now, the reason we are doing this is because when you upgrade to LTO7, you need the extra bandwidth, you need a CPU with more cores, you need more RAM. Now, we've included all of that in the DL20 server, which we are including as part of the bundle. But if you do need more horsepower, then we do have a DL360 Gen 9 server as well. You can contact StorageDNA for that purpose if you want a beefier server than the one we include. All the bundles include new LTO7 hardware. We have library options from 8 to 240 slots. So that's something we'll go over in a second. And obviously it does include the DNAevolution software, including the updates, which would give you, some of the features that I spoke about. Now, we've gotten questions as to when these features will be available. These features will all be available January 1st. So it's currently, we are testing it, we are beta testing it. You can buy into the bundle and they'll be automatically included as part of the upgrade that we give our customers. So what are the different bundles that we include? Well, we have at the base level, we have for under $10,000, what we're including is the DL20 server, which is the one we just mentioned. You also get an 8-slot library that can hold 48 terabytes of capacity and gives you one LTO7 drive, which gives you 300 megabytes per second. So you're getting all of this for under $10,000. If you bump up to our $20,000 bundle, it includes the DL20 server, but now it goes up to a 48-slot library, which comes populated with 2 LTO7 drives. You get 600 megabytes per second of throughput, and you can populate that with 48 LTO7 cartridges, which gives you 300 terabytes of storage for under $20,000. This is sort of our sweet spot, the Infinity. We encourage most customers that if they can make a stretch up to this bundle, they should absolutely do so. And there are a few reasons for that. The Infinity base bundle comes in at $30,000. Includes a DL20 server, but what you're getting is 500 terabytes, half a petabyte of capacity that you can store in here. It does come with 2 LTO7 drives, but you can upgrade up to 6 LTO7 drives. So if you're a customer who believes that, hey, I'd love to be able to offload my camera masters, but I also need, my SAN to be offloaded and also to be backed up every night, and I'd like to be doing migration, you're quickly entering a phase where you may need 4, 6, 8 LTO7 drives, which the Infinity system gives you the ability to scale up to. The next bundle that you're seeing is the Infinity, but it has the base module and an extension module. The great part of that is that it gives you a capacity of 1 petabyte. We include 2 LTO7 drives, but you can scale up to 12 LTO7 drives in this upgrade bundle, right? So this is one of the great reasons to be looking at the Infinity with the 2 extension slots. Now, the next one is the Infinity, but it includes 3 extension slots. So you're getting the base and 2 more, which gives you a capacity of 1.5 petabytes. It includes 4 LTO7 drives, which gives you 1,200 megabytes per second, but now you can scale that up to 18 LTO7 drives, which once again gives you great ability to run a number of operations in parallel, right? Just keep in mind, guys, that all our upgrade bundles, to take advantage of it, you need to be on a active support contract. Other than that, there are no real gotchas. The only other thing I'll mention is that this promo runs up until the end of the year. So if you would like to take advantage of it, you'll need to take advantage of it before the end of the year. With that, I'll pass it on to Jeff. Jeff, do you have any things you want to add there?